SABC. Niko kona kama.
Okay. Kuduanga stress.
Wane.
Ndio la zako.
Ni sawa. Wana ni mwenye ntamu ya mapu. Balance.
Tuko kanda mumwa. Muya munya ndi muya. Oroka na muya.
Ini karo tengi sana.
Munya ndi muya na. Happens. Later. Hello. Hi. Will you come to me? Hello. What time will you come?
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the General Salute will now be rendered by the parade, and only the functional, the Premier of Limpopo Province, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba, will acknowledge the salute. Parikamana, please. Thank you, Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, the Premier of Limpopo Province, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba, will now inspect the parade. Premier, please.
Sorry, I'm live.
Thank you, Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem will be rendered. All men in civilian clothes will remove their headdresses. All police officials in uniform will salute during the playing of the national anthem. Members who are in the chamber are requested to rise and join in the singing of the national anthem. Parade Commander, please.
Blind, what are you crying?
Thank you, Parade Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now perform the final compliment in the form of a march pass. The march pass will only be acknowledged by the Premier of Limpopo, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba. The Premier will descend the stage after the march pass. Parade Commander, please.
No, it's fine.
we can go. Rivajiva come. Yeah. Ay, tuko jana kange.
Ono ska på det hoje.
Yeah, we go on. Yeah, mimi niko tu. Niko jela.
Mane vile ndio sala.
Maboro, joining there, and all the MECs. As well, greet all the mayors, all the speakers and executive mayors and speakers and chief whips that are here, and as well chairpersons of the boards. Unfortunately, Honorable Premier, I will have to stop here so that I can be able. Oh, the Makurupechi family are here. Makurupechi Kanamela, and Mapokwana, you're only welcome. Thank you so much. I will now take this opportunity to go to item 4. Item 4, honorable members, I must read it a bit. That is where we are requesting our guests to observe the rules of the House. I wish to bring the following procedural matters to the attention of our guests. These are the rules of the House which must be observed throughout the proceedings. I will not mention all the rules in our book, but I will read out the key ones that our guests should note and observe throughout the proceedings. 1. The area demarcated with red ropes is regarded as the legislative chamber. The other outside chamber is regarded as the gallery. Those who are seated inside the chamber are members of the legislature. The rest of who seated in the gallery are our guests. Guests are not allowed to enter the chamber. Only members of the legislature can participate in the proceedings of the House. Guests shall listen to the Premier's speech and remain silent throughout the proceedings. No interference, no howling, and no distractions, please. When entering or leaving the chamber, honorable members and guests are required to bow to the Speaker, and when they leave, they must do so quietly. Cell phones should be switched off or put on silent mode. No taking photos or selfies when proceedings are on. Those are but some of
Honorable Speaker, even when the river rises, the calabash still floats. Even when the wind tears up the roof, the home of Butu remains. Because in Limpopo we say, metsi a tlisha bophelo, eumpja ge a feta moedi, a tlisha bohloko. Whilst many were celebrating Christmas in December 2025, our people in Mudrumulle Mokopong Waterberg, our people in Blowberg Capricorn began experiencing what looked like a passing storm. Unfortunately, it carried a typhoonic force. When the skies finally quietened, houses were destroyed, lives were lost, roads were flooded, and the hope of germinating seeds in freshly cultivated fields was washed away. As we were still counting losses, early January 2026 brought another dark cloud, this time from the Mozambique Channel, pouring relentlessly over the northeastern parts of our province. In Bende Mutare, a mother with a teenage daughter went to fetch firewood, only to find themselves stranded, trapped on what became an island. They were miraculously rescued on the third day. By then, the storm had traced its way deeper into Thulamela, almost following the Mutare and the Ruvubu rivers like a cruel guide. Then the rivers rose faster and higher than self-raising flow. The water surged towards Giani, towards Collins Chabani, and Bapalaburo was never spared. The Klein Litaba, the Salati, and the Lipelle rivers all raised to the Limpopo River, carrying trees and debris. Trees that when they could not pass bridges, simply rested there, blocking roads and creating a bush in the middle of a route that should connect our people to work, our children to school, and our communities to seek care. The aftermath was heartbreaking. Villages that slept in happiness woke up with no houses at all. Mbaula in Greater Guyana Municipality became a national focal point of what floods can do and of what government must do when its people cry. Disparate calls came from every direction. A lone woman climbed a tree for network signal, and when the Mopani Disaster Management Center finally received a call, the people of Mbaula were saved through internal help, through the bravery of our rescuers, and also through solidarity of our own people. But we sadly lost a 5-year-old boy, separated from his mother as she tried to clinch to a tree branch for safety. And with 8 or so bridges flooded, the community relied on the legal help that could pass through to reach them. In Sekhukhune district, the Lipelle River also caused extensive damage. In Lipelle Nkumpi, residents of Hamampa were trapped for hours, cut off from the services that others take for granted. Madam Speaker, today we count loss measured not only in infrastructure damages, but also in human pain. 27 lives were lost. Others are still missing or even unaccounted for. The damage amounts to billions of rands. Over 450 roads have been damaged. More than 3,500 houses were destroyed. Schools and health facilities suffered damage and learning was disrupted. What breaks my heart, honorable members, is how some pessimists within our society have downplayed the intensity of this disaster by claiming that we are alarmist and that only infrastructure built in the past 30 years was damaged. We have seen bridges that have been there for years succumbing to the intensity of the floods. Equally, there are resilience in structures like our RDP houses, Tatana Makam, in Mbaula, that remained in place when parts of the village was leveled to the ground. This is testament to the fact that we have begun to build resilient and strong structures that can withstand climate shocks. I narrate these events, honorable members, to remind us that our task resembled that of a story of a prophet Jeremiah, called to rebuild what has been broken, to restore what has been scattered, to lift the fallen and strengthen the weary. The work ahead is massive: to restore dignity, to reconnect communities to economic opportunity, and to allow people to move freely and safely within our beautiful province. We are grateful for the support from the Interministerial Committee on Disaster Management and for the unity shown amongst all our executive mayors, amongst our local mayors, and also amongst councillors, and most importantly, our ward committees across affected municipalities, joining hands in rescue operations, assessing damage, and providing relief packages. We also appreciate the leadership of His Excellency the President, Mr. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, who came to our rain-drenched communities, greeting citizens whose houses were submerged in Chakuma, listening to the pain in recovery through the classification of this tragedy as a national disaster. We also welcome the much-needed support from private sector, from civil society organization, and also from organized labor, especially our Federation COSATU, from, more importantly, ordinary people of Limpopo who until now are still donating to restore lives of those who have been displaced. Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to thank my political home, the African National Congress and its leagues, for providing leadership in the society. During this difficult time, they garner support for relief in all the affected areas. We saw them mobilizing trucks, individuals, and even collaborating with the private sector to ease the intensity of the devastation and restore the well-being of our people. Rekolibuwa Musanda Bomadaje Abarichile. Our task now is to use the limited resources at our disposal to begin after we have reprioritized. We are better prepared to begin this work, and thus we have begun. In the 2025 State of the Province address, after witnessing the floods in 2024 and 2025, we directed the MEC for Finance to set aside the reserve fund was duly set aside. In accordance with applicable legislation, 1.2% was made available for that purpose. We did this knowing that the response for support from the National Disaster Management Committee takes a while before funds are dispersed. For example, the province and the municipalities have just received, now in February 2026, the 500 million to cover the 2024-2025 floods. So, honorable members, in addition, we are now directing the MEC for Finance, Ntate Khabu Mawai, to make available funds to the provincial departments to cover the urgent recovery and rehabilitation intervention funding requirements for the recent disaster. Honorable members, I must indicate that the flood waters may have moved bridges and roads, but they must never wash away our ethics. In the 7th administration, we said, "Akuna nzau ya vukungundzwana, hahuna sivaka sabuhodu, ahuna chipinga cha bubava. Daar is geen plek vir enige vorm van korrupsie. There is no place for corruption, or let me say, floodpreneurs who are currently busy salivating at the smell of these funds. Let me be clear, honorable members. Every rand earmarked for reconstruction will rebuild Limpopo. It will restore dignity of our people. It will reconnect our communities. And we will jealously guard this process against any form of abuse, corruption, and any form of waste. We have put in place a reporting framework as well as a work schedule that we shall monitor on a 30, 60, 90-day basis. In addition, the Office of the Premier will be receiving progress reports fortnightly. Even as we mop the floors, honorable members, we must keep our eyes on the horizon. There is a silver lining. The economic outlook has opened better prospects for Limpopo. We are seeing improvement in the gross domestic product, output, and a decrease in unemployment. This does not mean our work is done. It means our work is beginning to show results. Even amid growing global geopolitical uncertainty, occasioned by the current Middle East crisis, we remain optimistic about Limpopo's prospects. We must take the opportunities in front of us with both hands, rebuilding infrastructure in a way that supports growth, keeping transport routes open for freight and tourism, strengthening municipalities so that services are reliable, and ensuring that procurement supports local business so that reconstruction becomes a platform for job creation, not just a repair project. Honorable Speaker, President Ramaphosa, during his State of Nation address, reminded us that 2026 is a year of memory and historical significance. It marks 70 years of the 1956 Women's March, when brave women laid claim to their dignity and humanity. We also commemorate 50 years of the 1976 Soweto Uprising, not forgetting the 30 years of our Constitution, a Constitution that enshrines equality, human dignity, and freedom. We owe gratitude to the heroes and heroines of our struggle who understood that the mandate of a democratic government is to push back the frontiers of poverty, is to fight inequality, and is to dismantle unemployment. It is for this reason that we have decided as a seventh administration to name the recently acquired office complex of Department of Social Development after our struggle veteran, the courageous one, and the one of the longest serving MECs, Mayor Happy Joyce Mashamba. Our act of preserving her memory and a reminder that leadership is about service. We may not rename every landmark after every icon, but we will do everything humanly possible to safeguard the memories of those who carried the burden so that we could carry the promise. Honorable members, as the governing party in Limpopo, we draw strength and direction from the ANC's January 8 statement, which reminds us that renewal is not a once-off event, but a daily discipline, rooted in the people, grounded in service and intolerance of corruption. This year, the year of decisive action to fix local government and transform the economy. It is a blueprint that calls on us to build a capable state, to defend the gains of our democracy, and to place the needs of the people, especially the poor, at the center of governance. It is upon this that we want to fix the local government and grow the economy of our province. We recall President Oliver Reginald Tambo's words in the January 8 statement of 1979, at the height of apartheid, when he spoke of one country, one people, one government, a government of the people of South Africa. Those words remain relevant even today. We have erased Bantu stance. We have rejected segregation. We have rejected tribalism. We reject patriarchy. But our work continues because underdevelopment was engineered over centuries, and it cannot be done by wishing. It must be undone by planning. It must be done by spending well, and it must be done by delivery. Honorable members, when we began this 7th administration, we did so with a single mind to achieve the following objectives: an inclusive growth and job creation, fighting poverty and reduce a high cost of living, as well as establish a capable, ethical developmental state. This is meant to amplify service provision to all our people. The floods have tested our system, but they have also revealed the courage of our communities, the dedication of our frontline workers, and the power of unity. Honorable Speaker, we are meeting here today mindful of the many questions our people continue to ask. Questions that are fair, questions that are urgent, and questions that are practical. Some of them are: where will jobs come from? Where will they come from, Premier? How do we as ordinary people access these job opportunities? How do we know that the commitments made in the 2025 State of the Province Address are now turning into real work on the ground? This section of my address responds directly to all those questions that were posed. In 2025, honorable members, we committed that we would mobilize investment. We will unblock industrialization projects and strengthen enterprise support so that economic participation is broadened beyond a few to many. Today we return to you to account. Over the past 5 years, Limpopo's economic has been inconsistent, characterized by periods of contraction and sluggish recovery, growing just below 2%. This has largely mirrored the national economic performance. However, through increased diversification, our economic growth trajectory has shifted. For many years, Limpopo was South Africa's poorest province, but those days are almost behind us. According to Stats SA, latest income and expenditure survey, poverty in Limpopo has decreased from 66% in 2015 to 47.6% in 2023. The largest reduction of any province in the country. This is not me, it's Stats SA. The GDP data released in October 2025 showed that Limpopo registered the highest growth rate, 0.9%. In the same period, Limpopo rose to become the 4th largest contributor to South Africa's GDP, accounting for 7.8% in 2024. But the residents continue to ask, but Premier, does GDP growth means jobs? Economic growth does not automatically translate to jobs, but it creates the conditions for jobs if it is driven by the right sectors, and if we deliberately connect growth to local employment, skills development, supplier opportunities, and macro, small and medium enterprises, what we commonly known as SMMEs. The current growth has been driven mainly by the tertiary sector, personal services, government services, finance, trade, and mining as the only primary sector. That is why, as we look forward to our target of 2.2% annual growth by 2030, as envisaged in the Limpopo Developmental Plan, we must now expand growth into job-rich and into labor-intensive sectors such as agriculture, mining, manufacturing, construction, and emerging sunrise industry, such as renewable energy and mineral beneficiation. Honorable Speaker, one of the biggest questions we hear from communities is, Premier, those investment conferences, are they real or are they only talk shows? Our investment conference is not about social media content creations. It is about mobilizing investment that can be converted into tangible jobs. Under the theme, Limpopo Rising, Africa's New Investment Frontiers, we hosted successful investment conference in October 2025. We registered 47 investment pledges amounting to 170 billion, surpassing our target of 120 billion. These pledges are directed at the sunrise industries, identifying by the Limpopo Development Plan, identified by the LDP, energy, mining, water, and public infrastructure. From the 2025 pledges, we protect, from the 2025 pledges, we protect the creation of more than 32,600 permanent jobs and 15,000 temporary jobs. Residents then ask the next question: when will these jobs be created and how will local people benefit? That is exactly why we are strengthening project follow-up. We are clear that conversion of committed investment remains a challenge due to several issues, including the bulk infrastructure readiness, regulatory processes, land availability, and project preparation. We are therefore directing MEC for Lidet Matibe to intensify post-conference investor engagement, remove bottlenecks, and provide regular progress reports to the government so that pledges get into implementation, and implementation will subsequently result into job creation. We call upon all our municipalities to prioritize these investors when they deal with regulatory approvals, so that we don't spend years waiting for these projects to be realized. In this regard, we want to welcome the final completion of the Invest SA Limpopo one-stop shop located at the Limpopo Tourism Agency building, Southern Gateway of Polokwane, which will address the consistent frustration experienced by our investors and also our local entrepreneurs, including our SMMEs, wherein approvals and processes may take too long and at some stage can even be difficult to navigate. The result is delayed projects and delayed jobs. So the one-stop shop will be the hub to accelerate the entire investment value chain by providing key investment and business support services, facilitating processes, and providing specialized advisory services to simplify the business landscape. We have as well launched the Limpopo Investment Prospectus, our investment book, which profiles Limpopo as an attractive destination and showcases our competitiveness in mining, in agriculture, in light manufacturing, in automobile opportunities, and also in digital technology, real estate development, not forgetting tourism. The plan is to avoid being a one-sector economy. When the economy relies on one or two sectors, it becomes vulnerable. Diversification is how we build resilience and expand employment pathways so that a young person in Guyana, a graduate in Toyando, and an artisan in Beggarsford, or an emerging farmer in Zebediela can all find a place in the economy hence our emphasis on inclusive growth. Honorable members, in September 2025, ESCOM made a ground-shifting commitment to develop the Tubatsi pumped storage scheme, a facility expected to produce about 1,500 megawatt of power capacity and around 21,000 megawatt hour of energy in Fitakhomu Tubatsi local municipality, along the escarpment between the Nebo Plateau and the Steelport River Valley. This was cemented at our investment conference when ESCOM pledged 35 billion for this project to be implemented as a multi-year program. Honorable members, we measure progress not only by plans, but also by outcomes. This is when we answer the question, what evidence is there that jobs are being created? Even though statistics SA reported a significant decrease in Limpopo's unemployment rate from 35% in Q2 of 2025 to 29.8% in Q3 of 2025 to 28.2% in Q4 of 2025. The reality is that a great deal of work remains in creating meaningful opportunities that lead to sustainable jobs, including for those who have become discouraged and lost hope in their quest to earn a living. However, not all is bleak. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Today, I want us to look beyond percentage. I want us to focus on the impact of the people's life over the past year. When Stats SA again recorded that unemployment in Limpopo decreased from 1,488,000 in Q1 of 2025 to 1,552,000 by the end of the year, an increase of 64,000 jobs. These are jobs These are not merely numbers on paper. They represent real opportunities. They strengthen households and tangible improvements in people's life. The increase in unemployment is evidence that our economic interventions, together with broader shifts in the labor market, are starting to produce measurable outcomes. Limpopo remains the fourth largest employer in the country and continues to rank amongst the better performing provinces. Those are facts. The days of being poor are almost gone. We do not suggest that the challenge is behind us, but progress matters. An increase in employment is not accidental. It is the results of deliberate effort, the coordinated action. We will build on this momentum and work with renewed agencies to reduce unemployment further, with a clear goal of bringing it below 20%, and it will happen under the ANC-led government. Warata oba urati. And ensuring that growth in our province is inclusive, it is sustainable, and it is job-rich. Honorable Speaker, last year we directed MEC Matibe to ensure that bottlenecks that held back our very own catalytic projects, the Musina Makado Special Economic Zones, must be removed so that tangible progress is registered. Delighted, whether you like it or not, to report that indeed we've made strides. With the land now formally transferred to the SEZ and the bulk services work has begun, we have also appointed a new capable CEO who understands these things better than many of us. And he has already started to drive the vision of the province to that era. The current progress It's focused on fundamental bulk infrastructure that the investors have always been asking for. Phase 1 of water supply system is underway, honorable members. A contractor for the bulk water supply line has been appointed. Site establishment is now complete. You can go. I was there. It's no longer a bush. Construction has already started. The work, which includes drilling and developing 15 new boreholes along Limpopo River and tributaries, conveying water via the manifold, it's rising again. The second contractor has also begun building a 6 megaliter water purification plant inside the SEZ. A third contractor covering a reservoir of an elevated tank to ensure pressure will be awarded within the 4 months. So together, these water projects are planned for completion in the next 25 months, delivering megaliter capacity expected to meet the demand for the next decade, while the Department of Water and Sanitation at the same time is considering the option of building the Musina Dam on the Sand River. Wastewater management is also progressing. 2 contractors are scheduled to begin later this month for sewer reticulation network and wastewater treatment plant, with completion targeted within 30 months. Security improvements, which include contractor mobilizing in March 2026 to construct a 6-kilometer perimeter fencing with enhanced features, observation stations, and fire break. So over the next 6 months, we must expect major infrastructure design, be it water, sewage, electricity, roads. I'm a bit worried to say the Honorable might come here and electricity, roads, stormwater, railway link, and broadband, because the pain goes straight to the right chamber of the heart. That's a problem. Yeah, township establishment for the south side will reach public notice in the second week of March 2026, followed by statutory objections. It's your time to object if you want to object, not to wait for us to start construction and start objecting. And tribunal processes to ensure lawful accelerated implementation. Honorable Speaker, we must also report to this House that Fitakhomu Tubatsi Special Economic Zone, I heard from the grapevines that just yesterday, the ministers have met and given it a thumbs up. We're waiting for cabinet. We're waiting for cabinet. All the processes have been concluded. While awaiting designation, as long as it delivers services to the people, election year or not, we are focused on giving people services. Doesn't matter the reason behind. Our people must get services. So while awaiting designation, enabling work has advanced. The township establishment, because we learn from the Musina Makado SEZ, what needs to be done, what needs to be avoided. And I can tell you, the day that signature from cabinet comes, they will find us far ahead, because it's already an industrial park. I can tell you that the zone is also exploring new green and advanced manufacturing opportunities. A preliminary business case for vanadium battery energy manufacturing has already been developed with CSIR. We'll go and check with them. And it's being marketed. And the memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Fitakhomu Industrial Parks, the Valterra Platinum Mines, and Mintech to pursue hydrogen energy derived from our platinum group metals, framed as practical step towards local beneficiation. Honorable members, while we are targeting high industrial output, we have not neglected the small business to ensure that inclusive growth beyond large projects. The province is expanding local enterprise development. You'll remember that last year we called upon MEC Matibe that we are not happy about NIDA having neglected its mandate of supporting our SMEs. I'm proud to report that this past year, 1,842 enterprises, including 1,445 MSMEs and 387 cooperatives, have received financial and non-financial support, such as equipment, market access, formalization, digital literacy, governance, and compliance support. What this does is that it spreads the economic reach and services to local residents, who in turn may employ local people as part of the business expansion. We still encourage our residents to continue using LEADER for any assistance they require with their businesses. Honorable Speaker, Renali Ramauka Rose Sino from Hapatla, Makudutamaha Municipality. She's an entrepreneur. She's an SMME who specializes in clothing production. Krauru urukadia parocha sichu, urukadia parocha manyalo, limikiti, ya fapa. Akarle atsiba uri, kakwa haburi na kos kukulu, unyala honari anyala, lu unyadi sari anyadis. Upya, Meo Waburina, she was not spared the wrath of the recent floods, when lightning struck all her sewing machine, leaving her and her employees without a source of income. She reached out to us. She reached out to us as government. We are currently in the process of assisting her. I guarantee you in this house that in the next 2 weeks, before the end of this month, Honorable Speaker, through LEADER, we will be delivering and replacing those sewing machines. The former premier, my former boss, taught me what premier pronounced is policy. It must be implemented, it's not debated. And I still practice that. But honorable members, to cheer her up and affirm our commitment to her cause, I decided to invite her as my special guest. Thobela Muluhadi, if we honor Ukata Misha, but those who are thinking of getting married soon, we will give her the machines. You must go and get your dresses and your attire to be done. It's for those who wear overalls to make sure that we don't see that they don't understand fashion. She's here to help you out. She's here to help you out. In the next sitting, Muluhadi, here are your customers. Make sure they look beautiful. And we know you have the capacity. Honorable members, when we said we are going to revive LEADER, this is what we meant. Serving ordinary people who may not be able to access financial assistance from commercial institutions or also from the banks. So looking ahead for 2026-2027, the province will broaden support to enterprises owned by women, youth, persons with disability, and also our military veterans. and we are going to establish a provincial enterprise development technical committee and a broad-based economic empowerment committee. Ayindawo, it's here to stay in Limpopo, to improve coordination and measurable outcomes. So, honorable members, let me remind you that agriculture remains the engine for rural jobs, especially through agro-processing. Last year, I stood in this August House and I made a passionate plea when I said, it pains me every time when I drive past the once renowned Zebediela citrus farm, seeing it in its hollow state, failing to rise from the ashes. We are not a government of empty promises, but of action and of tangible results. Just last week, as a follow-up, I went back to Zebediela. This time around, it was not just me and MEC Nakerikekana Sibanda like we always do, but we were also accompanied by our capable, credible women of integrity under the company we hold. Yabo me glorious roba, libo mezane lembeki, libo me change wemtinju. My mothers, who were officially, no, they don't need us to be where they are. These are women who listen to my plea, and instead of throwing stones, sitting in an armchair, they make a call to say, how can we help you? And we allow them to come, following all the supply chain processes. They don't need Phophi Ramathuba to make a name. They don't need me. They are a name on themselves. So they were officially introduced to Yatladi CPA beneficiaries as their new investors. To them, it's about the legacy. To them, it's the fact that they were there when CPOs were introduced. To them, when I listened to them, they were sharing with me that when CPAs were introduced, it was not meant to destroy our farms. It was meant to empower people. So they are here to make sure they assist us. Already, farming operations have started, which includes planting 500 hectares of white sugar beans as an early soil preparation. Some of us were questioning where they are bringing beans, no longer a citrus tree. They explain they have got soil experts. The beans are preparing the soil towards a long-term citrus restoration. Because some of you have already started mobilizing that community where they want to change from citrus. And it's going to be harvested in July. And in July, I'm going to take honorable members here, those who always say of our dead body, to go and help them to plant when we start the first planting of the new Zebediela citrus plantation. Asset production is already underway, and the installation of approximately 37-kilometer electrical security fence and trenching to strengthen the perimeter. We hope the outcome of this intervention in Zebediela will also mirror the success story that we are beginning to see with the revitalization of the Majeje citrus farm, as an example, which is progressing towards completion by the end of March 2026, with final planting planned to reach 450 hectares. The expansion is already driving increased capacity needs at the Masalal Pack House. It is therefore my pleasure to announce that to this August House, already the project has created 40 permanent jobs and is projected to support 350 seasonal jobs once fully productive. So these successes, honorable members, are dependent on our CPAs. Let's begin to appreciate that as CPAs, We are not farmers. We probably, some of us, know nothing about farming. You connect rental to also share that profit. In that way, we shall have sustainable land that will continue benefit us for generations to come. At the same time, protecting food security and creating sustainable jobs. While we are patiently waiting for the review of legislation that governs our CPAs by the Minister of Land Reform and Rural Development, I'm glad that my boss is the deputy and he will push the minister because he knows the problem that his people are suffering. We must continue to intervene in stalled projects like the Chivasa Tea Estate, the Mahuwa Tea Estate, and many others who are still looked in the web of CPA versus productivity. Honorable members, not all is lost. Our commitment to follow up on all projects that were pronounced market system linked MEC Mabungu to school feeding scheme contracts. The project has already created 62 jobs for 25-26, and our target is to exceed 150 jobs, including opportunities for persons with disabilities. Honorable members, we were clear when we said days of exploring raw materials, be it in agriculture, of exporting raw materials, be it in agriculture or mining, must come to an end. We shall work with industrialists to promote agro-processing. It is against this background that I'm proud to report to this August House that for the first time in that history of Vembe region, if it's not Limpopo, an avocado processing factory, Ecovado, has been established and it's fully operational in a village called Dobeni, Collins Chabani Municipality. The factory currently processes 5 tons of avocados per hour, creating sustainable market access for local farmers while reducing post-harvest losses. It produces fruit juices, extra virgin avocado oil, cosmetic and skincare products, honorable members. Products are available in national retail stores. So we are calling upon more retailers to see the market potential for these products and many others produced elsewhere in our province. In that way, more jobs will be created. Let's welcome one of my guests, the managing, and decided to process avocado and package them. So we can go and get the package one. So veterinary laboratory rehabilitation is at advanced stage. Phase 1 for laboratories in Mukopane, in Lephalale, in Makhado is complete. Phase 2 is planned for 2026 financial year, mainly to support disease control, export readiness, and jobs in the red market value chain. Honorable members, improving on disease control would help the province to curb control some of the challenges. including the foot and mouth disease that has once again engulfed parts of our province. From the 5th of December 2025, Limpopo had registered foot and mouth disease. We have collaborated with all stakeholders to deal with mass vaccination plan in all of Limpopo. And we must appreciate our veterinary surgeons in our province who have been hard at work to make sure that they kept the spread of foot and mouth disease. As part of revitalization of over 100 non-functional agricultural schemes across the province, the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is directed to audit all of them and provide support to bring them back to life. It is our conviction, Honorable Speaker, that using the advantage of land we have, we can spread further the reach by supporting various agricultural schemes in the province, by buying them tractors that will help them to continue expand their operation. We therefore direct you, MEC Mawai and MEC Menakedi Sibanda Kekan, to finalize the funding mechanism for procurement of tractors to support schemes, not just individuals who have access to us. We want the schemes to benefit through this program, and I trust my team. Next year, you will hear when I report, so many tractors have been delivered to the agricultural scheme. So this overarching approach links inclusive growth to strengthen value chains, agro-processing, and broad-based job creation across our villages, townships, and towns. Honorable members, infrastructure is a backbone of economic development. This is why in the 2025 State of the Province Address, we made a clear undertaking that infrastructure, especially roads construction and maintenance, will be treated as a backbone of economic development in Limpopo. Out of a total 20,000 kilometers of our roads, only 6,500 are tarred or paved, leaving 13,500 of gravel. These are provincial roads that connect residents to economic activities and also social services. We cannot overemphasize their need to be maintained. Hence, we'll continue to support our hashtag Dikharekhere Wednesday program. Honorable Speaker, today we report to the people of Limpopo on the progress made and what will be delivered next. As part of strengthening internal capacity to maintain those 13.5 kilometers of unpaved roads, the province managed to procure 64 earth-moving machines, whether it's your graders, your compactors, your tipper trucks, your front-end loaders, your trailers, and also all other utility vehicles. This intervention enabled maintenance of 17,669.8 kilometers of gravel roads through regraveling and blading, especially because of the recent floods. We therefore direct the MEC for Finance to find resources to support not only maintenance of the existing, but also augmenting of additional yellow fleet. The Dikharekhere Wednesday should continue to rise. Honorable Speaker, we are also pleased to report to this distinguished House that the upgrade of the 33-kilometer Muribeng to Sikhusese Road in the Greater Letaba Municipality District is back on track. Our recent project visits confirmed that only 500 meters composed of the 2 bridges are outstanding. But we can reassure this August House they will be completed in the next 6 months, given their complexity. We are restoring momentum and accountability, more so that This is a road that we took the Premier of the province and the President of the country to go and pronounce on the road. The reality that confronts us as a province is that with current budget constraints, we will never have the required billions of rands to tar or pave the 13,500 kilometers at a go. Hence our approach to appoint 21 contractors to tar 21 projects distributed across all the districts. There's no executive mayor who can say, in my district, we don't have contractors on the 21 projects. Also encouraged by the public-private partnership model of addressing the backlog. We have recently completed the landmark Steelport Bridge, Hamalekana in Fitakhomutiwat. Hamalekan. At least you are progressive for once. Hamalekan. A product of partnership with the Eastern Limb Mines, who contributed 90% of funding, while government contributed 10% through Road Agency Limpopo. Thankfully, this partnership is continuing, Honorable Member, as witnessed by the recent signing of another MOU to maintain the portion of Matlahari Road, Road D12, from R555 towards Mpumalanga in the Steelport. Wednesday, 25 February, in collaboration with Venetia Mine, we handed over a 5-kilometer road between De Vierte and Taaibosch in Blowback Municipality, Taaibosch Municipality, to a contractor. The agreement is that the road should be completed in the next 12 months. We appeal to our community to cooperate with the contractor to see to it that the project is implemented according to the time frames. We believe that this will give us an opportunity to seek alternative funding to the remaining 7.5 kilometers to reach Khoshikibi's place. Kwa Hakibi ba Mohananwa re a tseba o re a re so fitla mara re a tla re sa fetša 5 kilometers. Re tlo fitla ngwa o tlang re tlo fitla. Honorable Speaker, we hope that our recent meeting with desperately need, like the famous Chinga Bridge, This is the bridge that has recently taken 3 human lives. Even this morning, I received another video showing the bridge overflowing. So we are therefore directing MEC for Public Works, Roads Infrastructure, to focus not just on Chinga Bridge, but all the other bridges that are responsible for economic activities in parts of our province that have been damaged by our floods. Honorable members, we came to this house previously to request financial support to develop and build the ZCC St. Engenas interchange on the R71 road. This is not our road, it's a central road. But as a province, we felt we will make our own contribution so that we fast-track its implementation. However, we must report that to our disappointment, in the past 2 financial years, the allocations that we have made have been returned to Treasury because of Central's procurement delays. We have since elevated the matter to the attention of the relevant minister at national level for the speedy resolution. Government is making steady progress with the relocation of Sekhukhune district government offices from Libuahomu to Jane Fairs to improve access services and support regional development. Since our pronouncement last year, key technical studies are currently underway, and a 21 million has been allocated for the 26-27 financial year to appoint professional team to lead the planning and design of the new offices. Our goal is to complete the designs and prepare the project for construction by 2027, while the finance stream continue to explore sustainable funding options to support this development. Tourism is positioned as one of the Limpopo's fastest routes to inclusive growth because it creates township and village jobs across the value chain. Tour guiding, accommodation, catering, transport, arts and craft event. With global travel rebounding in 2025 and tourists increasingly seeking sustainable nature-based and cultural experiences, Limpopo is well placed to grow market share if tourism is deliberately integrated to sports, arts and culture. By the end of 2025, Limpopo performed strongly in domestic tourism, ranking second national for domestic trips after December, KwaZulu-Natal, Durban. Limpopo, we are competing with them now. The province aims to sustain this momentum through consistent destination marketing and stronger product development. Our key initiative of Tourism Thursday campaign, implemented with local and district municipality to showcase local attraction and stimulate domestic travel. Our province, Honorable Speaker, is also growing its event portfolio. Our well-maintained Peter Mokaba Stadium has played host to PSL Cup final after many years. It has also played the SAFA World Cup qualifier after many years. It also has hosted the CAF Games and many other continental games, showcasing our capacity to host high-profile national and international sporting events. Remember, the stadium is maintained in-house. It has not been outsourced compared to other stadiums. It has not been outsourced. We must also talk. However, there's still a need to bid for bigger events beyond sports, beyond national and international conference and convention. This is the more reason that we are directing the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, MEC for Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, MEC for LIDED, work with the city of Polokwane to finalize on the matter of the construction of the Polokwane International Convention Center. The ministers are here. When it goes to cabinet, we already have got votes, so we are safe. let's just use this opportunity to make sure that Limpopo is developed for the better. We have previously, enemies of progress, you will hear them having a problem for us to have an international convention center. Honorable Speaker, we have previously remarked that we need to create a logistic hub here in Polokwane Airport that will assist with various functions and to coordinate the strength of connectivity we have here. We are mandating MECs for the dead, transport and community safety to finalize the planning process and coordination towards the realization of this vision. On connectivity, Limpopo, we welcome the Fly-Safair Cape Town tree, Eastgate, Hoedspruit route, depending on what you call, but we want to make sure that we prioritize stronger collaboration with Fly-Safair so that we can see even Polokwane International Airport, the ministers that we're having must fly from Polokwane to Cape Town. It will happen. We are women and men of commitments, not of promises. Entrepreneurs and civil society are invited to propose eco and cultural tourism projects for partnership, while revised MOU with BRICS and SADC and renewed EU marketing aim to expand international reach. Honorable members, economic growth cannot be separated from social stability. Communities affected by violence, substance abuse, and gender-based violence are communities where children do not learn well. The business do not thrive, and families live in fear. In this regard, we affirm a truth that is too often overlooked. Arts, culture, and sport are not extras in development. They are part of the economic engine of Limpopo, part of social cohesion, and part of how we confront poverty and the high cost of living. Honorable Speaker, we are pleased that we have made progress since the sword turning in 2024 by our Premier Bomatawat. The provincial theatre is on track. You said we always make promises. Go and see provincial theatre. It's on track and it will be completed by 27-28 financial year, having created at least 78 jobs and supported 15 SMMEs. It will be. With its completion of the Limpopo Provincial Theatre in March 2027, mark my words, we are laying the groundwork for its full operationalization. Furthermore, we have committed an additional 18 million to ensure its operational readiness. This will enable the rolling out of theatrical production, film shows, craft markets, and performing arts in partnership with creative structures. Limpopo proudly owns the Limpopo gem as evidence in the national recognition, wherein for the first time the Metro Awards has included this category in their annual event. This category is from Limpopo. So originated from Limpopo, it's our brand. It's a Limpopo gem. So we root, now honorable members, don't be jealous. You must root out for Shandesh, for Karishma, for Natalie Parker. They are already nominated in various categories of Limpopo, and other artists who have diligently raised the flag of Limpopo. Of course, we are still saddened by those that have passed on, those that are still recovering, like Karishma, and those that have passed on, including our very own Dr. Nel. But at the same time, on a positive note, we welcome our queen performer, Makadziwa Borine, as she continues to promote Limpopo through her music and her unique dance moves that you can never find anywhere in the world. I'm, however, concerned that up to date, we have not finalized the creative industry strategy. Therefore, Honorable MEC Jerry Masek, to make sure that the strategy is expedited by July 2026. Honorable members, education is Limpopo's most reliable foundation for inclusive growth, for poverty reduction, and for lowering the long-term cost of living. It is the bridge between the childhood disadvantage and adult opportunities, enabling people to work, build businesses, innovate, and participate in society with dignity. By strengthening skills and earning power, education tackles poverty at its source and reduces vulnerability to debt, to hunger, and also unemployment over time. We see learner performance improvements as an economic investment that supports the production of scarce skills across sectors. During the term, Limpopo's national senior certificate pass rate increased once more from 85.1% to 86.01%. This is attributed to stronger curriculum delivery, targeted learner support, and improved monitoring at schools at our circuit and district level. Our bachelor passes, let's talk about the quality that you were asking, because we are not only talking about percentage, we are also talking about the numbers. Bachelor passes rose from 41,370 in 2024 to 43,052 in 2025. Increasing the number of learners eligible to further their studies and training, highlighting as a clear pathway out of poverty or for many households. We owe this to the people of Limpopo. The success is not only from us as government. You know that our traditional leaders have adopted schools. We know that even His Grace, the Right Reverend, has got the schools that he's funding 3,000 per child. That is a challenge to big business. You should do 3 times the 3,000 per name if you really care about the future of our province and our country. Having registered the above progress, our focus now is performance on the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, our STEM subject. These are the foundation towards building relevant skills that our economy requires. Infrastructure and learning dignity remain our priority. Honorable members, out of 19 priority 1 students who needed urgent sanitation intervention as per our SOPA last year, 15 of them were completed. We are only left with 4 that are already at advanced stage, disturbed by floods. You said we are not finishing, we are eradicating those pit latrines. Polokwane Municipality, honorable members, is experiencing rapid population growth due to migration, which has increased pressure on school infrastructure in the Capricorn South Education District. This has resulted in overcrowded classrooms and recurring admission challenges. To address this, we can't postpone this any further. We are directing the Department of Education to make sure that we finalize the planning stage for the construction of new schools and additional classrooms. I've checked with the city of Polokwane. The executive mayor assured me that they've made land available. Therefore, let's build that school which the community of Polokwane is dying to have. Honorable Speaker, 2025 we reported to this August House operational work to improve enrollment and learning conditions for early childhood development, which we had noted its importance in the educational success of our province. We are proud to report to this August House that we have placed priority on improving our ECDs of offering through infrastructure investment, and that to that effect, we have renovated 54 ECD facilities and constructed low-cost ECD centers, including the Masisi site in Vembe District East. Now it has been completed, with Mupani East having been planned. So both MECs for Education and Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, during their budget vote, will give you the details on this ECD's infrastructure. A country or a nation that doesn't care of its children do not deserve the future. That's what our forefathers have taught us. Honorable Speaker, we have acknowledged the improvement we have made with the matric pass rate. However, we are worried about where this 41% or so will go. We are directing the MEC for Economic Development Cluster, MECs for cluster, economic clusters to work with MEC for Education, Mema Bungulu Rodi, to revive our goal of reaching the 55 focus school by the end of the 7th administration. We need agricultural schools, we need vocational schools, and we need the schools of technology, robotics and coding. Not every learner is going to be a lawyer. Not every learner will be a doctor or a teacher or a nurse or an engineer. We require more artisans. We require learners with vocational skills to match the demand of our growing economy. Honorable members, our envisaged mining and mineral beneficiation academy in Sekhukhune district is on the right track, and we will leave no stone unturned until it's realized. A high-level technical committee has already commenced with the designs in partnership with Services SETA Education Training Authority and also the University of Johannesburg, which has agreed to partner with us. The Department of Higher Education and Training, and including mining houses, are also on board. Honorable Speaker, we made a commitment that will work with Tshwane University of Technology, Giani Municipality, and the Department of Higher Education and Training to make sure that Giani campus of TUT established. To date, great progress has been registered, which includes refurbishment of infrastructure. Several key teaching and learning facilities are completed for both staff and students. Based on the special dispensation granted by the Department of Higher Education and Training, 230 students who still need to register have been admitted to the campus across 5 diplomas and honors in education. Honorable Speaker, reliable transport is central towards inclusive growth. It connects people to work, learners to schools, patients to clinics, and producers to markets. We welcome and commend President Ramaphosa for his unwavering commitment to the Limpopo-Gauteng high-speed rail project. It has made it to the SONA. That's a great achievement. Although some may dismiss it as merely an elite venture, let us remind everyone that there is no economy that can grow and develop unless there is investment in infrastructure, particularly mobility and commuting. Its ripple effect is felt by the very same poor and working class, starting with its construction phase, where many jobs will be created. Upon its completion, as part of decongestion N1, goods will be moved from road to rail. This action also has a potential to revitalize our small town like Bilabila, Mukopong, Mudimulle, Mukopane, Makado, and Musina. and restore economic activities. When a minibus, taxi or a bus is involved on a head-on collision with a truck, majority of people who perish, honorable members, in these roads are the very same poor and the working class. So moving goods to rail will not only be providing jobs, but we will also protecting the lives of innocent people who die every day on our N1. In any way, the Marxist-Leninist political economy that I've studied, because I didn't do economy at university, teaches us that when you invest in the infrastructure, the primary beneficiaries of the ripple effects of that development of investment are working class, the poor, and the poorest. So by doing that, we'll be decentralizing development to villages and rural areas. And this is what makes us to continue to chart a course towards a better Limpopo, a better South Africa, where hope flourishes and every citizen play a role in our collective progresses. Honorable members, the Great North Transport is becoming great again. We have put a 3-pillar strategy in place to realize the complete turnaround and permanent financial sustainability for this entity. To date, the leasing pillar of the strategy has worked well, and we are now moving to the bus procurement and fixing pillars. We thank the leasing partners. In the next financial year, GNT will receive all 71 buses purchased by 30 September 2026. The buses will start coming in batches in May 2026. GNT will, at the same time, from May 2026, start fixing and at least 90 buses. Those buses that are there, we've already fixed one, working with the students from our TVET colleges. To this end, GNT has already received the first intake of 10 students from Skukune TVET colleges who are working with their teachers using GNT as a training platform. So the project is tied to to clear timelines against which we shall monitor and ensure that all milestones are met as per plan. There is a painful matter regarding former GNT employees' pension. The provincial government takes the matter very seriously. To that effect, we can report that the matter is now with the South African Human Rights Commission, and they are currently mediating through their provincial office. The provincial government trusts that the mediation process will uncover whether the errors were caused by GNT or pension fund administrators. The provincial government will then facilitate payments from the institution which committed errors and omission. The government instructed leader to procure the services of an actuarist to help us determine exactly what happened, by who, to whom, and by how much. All these processes are taking place under our watchful eye, together with the South African Human Rights Commission. Through the bus subsidy program, the province continues to provide affordable, safe, and dependable public transport for commuters, offering direct financial relief to working class families who would otherwise face unaffordable travel costs. From the 1st of April 2025, more than 900 million was invested to sustain 9 negotiated bus contracts. In the previous financial year, over 22 million passengers benefited. And by 30 September 2025, a further 12,454 million passengers had already used subsidized services, demonstrating both the scale and demand and the program's impact. At last, honorable members, we are pleased to report progress in unlocking stalled projects, notably the long-delayed Thohoyandou intermodal facility. Implementation has resumed under the Independent Development Trust IDT. The contractor is on site. The contractor has been given directive to complete the remaining works. The taxi rank is positioned as both a transport and economic asset, expected to improve commuter experience, public safety, and trading opportunities that support township economy. Honorable members, we should begin to appreciate the totality of work we are currently doing to improve safety on our roads, especially during national holidays and other holidays like Easter and festive season. We have had a remarkable Easter campaign that yielded a positive result, including the 2025 Easter holidays, where we experienced 0 fatalities on N1 road. Equally, during December to January festive season, statistics show a 14% reduction in the number of accidents on our roads and 10% decline in road fatalities. However, we still want to emphasize that those who would not observe traffic rules, we shall gladly respond to their invitation to strengthen their behavior. Consequently, road safety will be strengthened through the planned 24/7 traffic enforcement. We are recruiting 154 additional officers and improve tools and safety system to reduce preventable fatalities. I therefore direct MEC for Transport and Community Safety, Manana Violet Mate, to initiate consultations with our labor forum to say we're going to introduce shift work. Other traffic officers will work during the day. When they knock off, another shift must come in, because most of these accidents are happening at night. When we arrest you for drunken driving, it's because we are protecting your life. When we arrest you for overtaking on a barrier, it's because we love you so much. We don't want you to kill yourself and kill others. So we want traffic officers to work day and night, like all other security cluster professionals. Honorable members, the Limpopo Division of High Court, with its main seat in the Polokwane and local division of Thohoyandou, continues to enhance access to justice in our province. Under the leadership of Judge President Patudi and Deputy Judge President Siminya, supported by 9 judges, the division enrolled 274 serious criminal trials during the 24-25 financial year. These matters, including rape, murder, robbery, and aggravating circumstances, fraud and corruption, reflect the significant burden carried by our courts in addressing violent and complex crimes. The division successfully finalized 125 criminal cases during the reporting period, with 186 matters enrolled in Polokwane and 88 in Thohoyandou. Both seats recorded progress, including serious offenses securing sentences in the majority of finalized trials. We are reporting this because, honorable members, without a strong judiciary, fighting crime, fighting gender-based violence will just be a fruitless exercise. When we speak, Honorable Speaker, about reducing poverty and tackling high cost of living, we must also speak about our health, because illness is very expensive. It takes away income through lost work days. It forces families to borrow for transport and food while caring for a loved one. And it deepens inequality when rural households must travel long distance for services. A healthy Limpopo is a productive Limpopo. And that is why health is not only a social service, but a driver of inclusive growth and economic development. Our commitment towards strengthening tertiary services is meant to improve access to quality health care in our province. We are registering a reduction of costly referrals to Gauteng Academic and Central Hospital, even before we have that hospital. Construction of Academic Hospital is progressing very well. It's currently at 52%. Our teams of specialist clinicians cannot wait for this completion. We recently delivered conjoined twins in Mankweng Hospital. This would be ordinarily a case to be dealt in another province, but it has been done in a rural province, Hanamo Mankweng. I'm confident, honorable members, that our team of capable clinicians who are currently providing tertiary care services to these twins, and they will be able to take care of even future complex operation that the babies will have to undergo. That is why I'm saying to this August House, I'm calling upon the people of our beautiful province, Limpopo, to pray for both our twins, to pray for our clinicians as they continue to provide that care, which will include a complex operation to separate them. So just pray, because we know the capacity we have, but the intervention of the Almighty is also needed. Honorable Speaker, the need for the attendant Limpopo Medical School has now become critical. That is why we are calling upon the University of Limpopo, the Department of Higher Education and Training, to speed up the construction of the medical school campus. I've checked again even on this one. With the Executive Mayor of Polokwane Municipality, they've already done their part. They've donated the land that is required to build that hospital next to the Central Academic Hospital. This is the university that many doubted many years ago when we established it. Today, we've produced doctors. Some of you have already consulted them, and they've treated you well, and you are sitting here alive and kicking, thanks to the ANC-led government. As committed last year in this House, we are pleased to announce that progress in various areas has been made advanced. For instance, the advanced technology investment, which included the linear accelerator and the brachytherapy machines for our oncology patients, the 10 ceiling suspended X-ray units across our district rural hospitals, all maintained at 100% functionality. A 42 million PET scan that we spoke about last year unit has been procured, and it's installed in Petersburg Hospital, and the licensing is in progress. Equally, the staffing underway. We are a province on the move. You won't need to go on N1 to seek help in Gauteng. Utloikria, short left Polokwane, short left Mankweng. Honorable Mabo. The Department of Health has completed all outstanding infrastructure projects. We told you what the Premier pronounced, its policy. You don't question, you implement. Our population is growing, honorable members. The burden of diseases is increasing. Our facilities are failing to cope. Therefore, the MEC for Health is also directed to develop a plan on how new clinics will be built in our province. We need even clinics here in Polokwane, like we also need schools. Because when our cities and towns are growing, and when the population is increasing, services must also be provided. Children's retention on Limpopo has improved its HIV outcome, with retention of antiretroviral therapy rising from 93.5% to 99%, and HIV-free to work with the Department of Health on the issues of stunting. We are monitoring progress for the construction of Siloam Hospital, which is now at 76% complete, earmarking it for June 2026 completion. Honorable Speaker, during the 25-26 financial year, our department responsible for cooperative governance, human settlement and traditional affairs delivered 3,469 houses and completed 918 services sites against an annual target of 2,923 houses and 1,962 service sites. These outcomes reflect both progress and areas requiring acceleration, particularly in bulk services and connection. Through our work in human settlements and community-based programs, we also contributed to inclusive growth and job creation. 27,448 work opportunities were reported through the Community Works program, and 1,413 jobs were created through housing, construction, and site saving. This is how government spending must work. We must provide services while at the same time expanding livelihoods. Honorable Speaker, all of us will age one day. Therefore, as a province, through our Department of Social Development, we continue to prioritize their well-being. To that effect, 537 older persons accessed residential care facilities. 14,708 accessed community-based care and support centers, while 1,000 older persons participated in active aging programs, our Golden Games, from July to September 2025. For the persons with disability, by December 2025, 284 accessed residential facilities and 3,943 accessed protective workshops. In the 26-27 financial year, the province will expand capacity building for officials and stakeholders, strengthen advocacy, and establish additional protective workshops to reduce exclusion and improve access opportunities. Honorable Speaker, through our social relief program, we respond to disaster, we respond to bereavement, we respond to displacement and to unemployment shocks by assisting 7,903 people with services. While framed as temporary support, it is positioned as a critical lifeline to prevent deeper poverty. Family preservation services were also strengthened through 23 funded child protection organizations, reaching a total of 55,496 family members. This province reports that 150,147 family members were reunified and 26,184 participants in parenting programs. These are not just numbers, these are human beings. These are people who, some of them, if Ms. Ratiran, we did not intervene, some of them would have perished. So we want to thank the Department of Social Development to continue with your work. Honorable members, we welcome the declaration on gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster. This is an indication that we are a government that cares, and we are worried about the rate at which these cases are occurring. We launched a 100 days gender-based violence and femicide campaign, strengthening victim responses, including support for protection. Teenage pregnancy remains our biggest challenge. It steals the future of our children. It shatters their dreams and takes away their dignity. We therefore direct MEC for Social Development, MEC for Health, MEC for Transport and Community Safety, MEC within all MECs within the social cluster to work in finding solutions to this pressing matter. It is not a one department problem, it's a societal problem. Honorable Speaker, our developmental agenda will remain incomplete unless it includes the most vulnerable sector of our society. These include women, youth, and people with disability. Research has shown that the needs of these sectors remain overlooked. Therefore, we need a deliberate program coordinated by government. In addressing the challenges faced by these vulnerable groups, we will embark on a process of rebuilding, ensuring that it is an inclusive one, to allow ordinary people in Limpopo to assist, to take charge of their lives. This requires labor-intensive methods of execution. We shall set aside 60 million for sustainable livelihoods project, which will go a long way in mitigating for current or recurring incidents of this nature. The Office of the Premier is directed to implement an integrated program in the 26-27 financial year. Honorable members, as we alluded earlier on, this is a year of fixing local government. In simple language, it means this is a year to focus on the improvement of provisions of basic services, of water, of sanitation, of electricity, of roads infrastructure, and also of refusal removal. It is as well means professionalizing local government, reducing municipal debts. It simply means it's a year of accountability. We have provided support to all our 27 municipalities in Limpopo with visible progress in compliance and governance, as evidenced in the overall improved audit outcomes. While we once more congratulate Executive Mayor Mamilu Pitifo and Executive Mayor George Mayeko for recording once more clean audits, both in Capricorn and Waterberg District. We are also encouraged this time around by by 18 of our municipalities that have achieved unqualified opinions, improving from the 14 we had in their previous financial year. Let me take this opportunity and also congratulate our 4 municipalities that improved from qualified to unqualified. The Blowback, Bilabila, Collins Chabani, Elias Mutwaled. This is an improvement. At the same time, bravo to those who sustained unqualified audit outcomes. But we are also urging them not to be stagnant, but improve to clean audits opinion in the next financial year. Oksalayo, we don't have a disclaimer, we don't have an advance. We don't have in Limpopo. We have improved even Tabazimbi after our intervention. It is now qualified. It is moving towards unqualified. One day, Tabazimbi will rise and become a clean audit. That is why the 7 municipalities that are remaining with qualified outcomes are a cause for concern. And while we acknowledge those improvements from 10 in the last year, we must also be fair. Qualified audits must not be normalized. They affect credibility, they affect investor confidence, and ultimately service provision. We expect consequence management where it is required, executive mayors and PMT. And we will provide targeted support as the provincial government to address the root causes. One day Limpopo will also have clean audits. All our municipalities are on the route to be unqualified. It will happen. We are also confronting municipal debt and illegal electricity usage through coordinated strategies. Municipalities with long-standing debts have entered payment arrangements with both Exocom and water boards, committing to pay current outcomes in full, accounts in full, while servicing historic debts. This is essential to stabilize services and prevent disruptive intervention. You are making this. Honorable members, if we can not disrupt, we'll finish. Water is only a service. It's not only a service. It is a constitutional right and a foundation for dignity. It is also an economic enabler. Without reliable water, agriculture, tourism, mining operation, construction, and small businesses cannot thrive. That is why we have developed the differentiated approach in water and sanitation provision strategy, aligned to the Water Master Plan and Limpopo Development Plan, to identify where communities are unserved and underserved, while they remain so that honorable members. Honorable members, Polokwane is not just another municipality in Limpopo. It is our capital city, the seat of government, the heartbeat of our administration, and the primary economic hub that carries the confidence of our investors, the movement of goods and services, and the daily functioning of thousands of households. Many of the people gathered in this house spend most of their times in Polokwane for work and service delivery responsibility. When Polokwane thrives, Limpopo thrives. When Polokwane struggles, all of us feel the consequences, socially, economically, and institutionally. That is why we raise the matter not to promote Polokwane at the expense of other areas, but because we understand its central role in the broader development of our province. Honorable members, the water challenges in Polokwane have gone on far too long, and we must say it really clearly. The blame game is not giving our people water. Water provision must never be reduced to politics. It must never be reduced to point scoring. It must never be reduced to public quarrels while communities queue for buckets of water. The responsibilities are known. Lepelle Northern Water is a bulk water service provider, and it must provide the bulk services as it is mandated. The Polokwane municipality, on the other hand, has a responsibility to pay for services rendered and to manage its obligations with discipline. Let me be equally also clear. I did my homework. Polokwane does not own Lepelle Northern Water, but the reality remains that each institution must do its part. on time, and without excuses. Our officials that we have appointed, be it in our water board, be it in our departments, must stop being politics. They must leave politics to us politicians, and they must do work and deliver water to our people. It is for this reason that the Office of the Premier has found it necessary to intervene directly. We cannot continue to beg each other while taps run dry. Where there are failures of performance and poor coordination or conduct that undermines delivery, we will act decisively. Our residents deserve solutions, not rivals. Honorable Speaker, the matter, while it does not apply to Polokwane alone, but we are worried, and we must still repeat that our officials, our engineers must focus on giving people water and leave us to play politics and not allow to be used by opposition parties to fight the ruling party and government, as we have noted recently. We welcome the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation's intervention after we escalated the matter to her office. She must also act on her boards, because if what they are doing is wrong, it must be condemned. Tomorrow, the 6th of March at 7 o'clock, we will be meeting her and her team to finalize a decisive way forward, to clarify accountability across the value chain, from bulk supply to reticulation, and to ensure implementation timelines which are non-negotiable. We will not rest until water provision is stabilized, coordination is restored. Our Inomati Friday campaign may have had its sluggish start, but its continuity is something we value and continue to promote. Our people shall drink water. This is a commitment to action. Mopani District Municipality, we've seen you, Executive Mayor, continues to show us how this is done, and we are going to make sure that other municipalities follow suit.
We also don't accept to be kept here an hour after the time agreed that we want to finish. We don't accept that. We don't accept that. For that time, 12:45. We want to be now. 12:45. An hour past time. Use your order paper.
it is convened to allow the Premier of the province to address the people of the province. Can we allow her to conclude her speech?
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, on governance and accountability, Limpopo Provincial Government achieved 5 clean audit outcomes for the 24-25 financial year. We also obtained the 5 unqualified audit opinion. And this progress, it's rebuilding public trust and tightening controls where weaknesses exist. However, we will not be complacent. Sustaining and explaining these gains requires continuous monitoring, stronger consequence management, and improved internal controls across all institutions. We also note the mixed performance of our public entities, while the Limpopo Tourism Agency sustained a clean audit and Gateway Airports Authority maintained unqualified audit outcomes. Regression in RAL and also in the Gambling Board remind us that governance must be consistent across the entire state system. So Treasury must intensify and it will intensify technical oversight, strengthen financial reporting, and ensure that remedial actions are implemented. Honorable Speaker, traditional leadership remains central to development, social cohesion, and land governance across our province. We have constituted 141 of 203 traditional councils in line with the legislation. The remaining 62 will continue to be supported for reconstitution as we continue to address different challenges they face, ranging from dispute, conflict jurisdiction, and vacancies to court judgment. Honorable Speaker, we also reaffirm our commitment to safe initiation practices. Hence, honorable members, the total number of initiates admitted at various legal initiation schools for 2025 season was 40,217, and out of those, only 2 lives were lost. While 1 life is too many, we commend the work that the coordination that has been done through our provincial initiation coordination committee, together with the House of Traditional Leader and also Department of Coxstar. We appreciate that work that you have done. Honorable members, the provincial government is aware of Ingwane case, which is a constitutional matter which has declared Section 25 of our Limpopo Traditional Leadership Institution Act of 6/2005 as unconstitutional and invalid. This judgment has posed a serious impact and implication on levies of the traditional leaders. That is why I've directed the MEC for Treasury and the MEC for Coxstar to come up with sustainable manner to resource our traditional council. I've also directed the MEC for Coxstar to disperse funds to certain qualifying traditional authorities after amalgamation of the 3 former homelands. The process is much advanced, and both MECs during their budget votes will outline further how we are going to fund our traditional council. Whether you like it or not, 80% of Limpopo is under the leadership of traditional council. So we have an obligation to support our traditional councils. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, REIN reminds us that renewal is possible even after seasons of hardship, after seasons of floods, remind us that if we do not build a strong challenge, we should nourish. What should nourish can also destroy. Our task as the government is to make sure that the gains of growth do not wash past our people, but are carefully directed into every village, into every township and every town, through the real infrastructure, through safe communities, through functioning services, and an economy that opens doors for women, youth, persons with disability, and those who were too long excluded. Let us leave this house committed to turning focus into delivery, plans into projects, and promise into inclusive growth, into lived reality, so that when the rain comes, it becomes a blessing for all. And when the waters rise, Limpopo stands ready, resilient, and hopeful. Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity and express my sincere appreciation to the members of Executive Council who have carried their responsibilities with diligence, and the agency, and to our Director General, all our HODs, together with our CEOs of state-owned entities, for providing steady leadership to the administration and guiding our collective efforts in the right direction. Let me also thank the people of Limpopo for their tenacity, for their patience, and also for their support against all odds as we continue to serve them. We appreciate your feedback that you continuously make through our social media pages. We would love to address all the issues that you are raising, but those that you elected into this August House are denying us opportunity to do so. To my family, including my mother and my lovely daughters, who have always my greatest support, I would also like to say thank you. But most importantly, to you, honorable members, I say,
State of the Province address to the people of Limpopo. Thank you so much once more. Honorable members, I must indicate that when I was doing the acknowledgement, I should apologize that there are other important guests that I could not mention them, but we feel it's very important, including the representatives of His Grace, Bishop Dr. Engenastle Khanyani, Muruti Polokwane, Muruti Rampedi, and Lebaruta Nanglebona feel acknowledged. Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Hadebe, and your SABS delegation, you are acknowledged. Mr. Sponye, Public Service Commissioner, Advocate Kumede, Commissioner of Gender Equality, Mr. Mabidula, South African Human Rights Commission, Auditor General of South Africa, Mr. Kennedy Limpopo, Independent Electoral Commission, the rep of the Mental IEC, Mengaruma Data, and Tatasia, where you are here. Honorable members, as the legislature, as when we do our work, we normally have some stakeholders we are able to partner with. When the Premier and the Minister of Education sent out to schools, we visited the school called Dendron High School, which is one of the best schools in maths and science, which always get 100%. The principal is here with us. I'm acknowledging Mr. Temuluko Matapola, the principal of Dendron High School. We are highly acknowledged. In the Eastern Special School, Utapa Special School, you are here as well. I could not as well acknowledge the academia. We work closely with the Vice Chancellor of the University of Limpopo, Vice Chancellor of the University of Venda, TUT representatives of UNISA, and all higher education institutions of the province feel acknowledged. The LGBTQI community, they are as well represented in this house. Director General, I heard with your HODs, you were not acknowledged as well as the Secretary of the Legislature. I apologize for not acknowledging the Secretary of the Legislature and your team. We now go towards closure in terms of the order paper. I will now allow the Deputy Speaker of the Province of the Limpopo Legislature, to come and give us vote of thanks as well as announcements.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and greetings to the House. Today is indeed a great day for the people of Limpopo. The Honorable Premier, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba, has set the tone for the provincial government service delivery roadmap. Thanks very much, Honorable Premier, for your leadership. We are certain that the people of Limpopo will receive quality services they rightfully deserve. I also thank you, Honorable Speaker, Dr. Mme Makoma Gracie Makurubeji. We thank you very much. Also, thank you with your family, and also thank you, the family of the Premier. We also want to appreciate the executive, and also want to appreciate and thank the leadership of the ruling party, the African National Congress, Bamsanda Bomataji. We also want to thank our leaders, of course, also our spiritual leaders, also our Chapter 9 institutions, the Judiciary. We also want to thank all of you distinguished guests and media. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion, in particular our most lovely two queens, Manyaku Tulari and Masanabo Kakwamujaji. We also want to thank you, honorable members of legislature, for making this day possible and to make sure that we are all gathering here and telling the people of Limpopo what needs to be heard. And we want to thank all of you mayors and all of you chief whips and all of you speakers and all our guests. And of course, let me thank the ministers and the two deputy ministers. We thank you, our leaders. We also want to thank our families that are here for this day. Thank you for all of our guests, and in particular, Madam Speaker, Arlewa batho ba Limpopo ba ile gore ga ni shwate be ba dutse ba theleditse premier wa bona a ba botsa gore ka nnete o tlo ba thusha ka eng yana le executive ya gae. Re a leboga batho ba Limpopo o tswela pele le re botsa gore le nyaka eng le gore la re theletša le botsa gore re ta kgona mo kae ene ka nako e kang kang. Announcement, honorable members and our guests. I here informed that on Tuesday, 10 March 2026, the MEC for Provincial Treasury will be afforded an opportunity to deliver the annual provincial budget. The debate on the Premier's address, honorable members, that you are all waiting for, will take place on Thursday, the 12th March 2026. After the adjournment of the proceedings, the Speaker's procession and the Premier shall leave the Legislative Chamber, followed by the MPLs and NCOP's permanent delegates for an official photo session. All guests and delegates shall remain seated until they are ushered out of the chamber by the protocol officials. Honorable members and all guests of honor are invited for luncheon at Olivia Lodge after the adjournment of the city. Arrangements have been made with the traffic officers to escort honorable members and guests from J. Butcher's Hall to the luncheon venue. Directions to Bolivia Lodge are as follows, honorable members and our guests. Drive along Church Street towards R37, turn right at the first traffic lights after Penina Park, Sasol Garage. Turn right onto the N1 North. Take R71 off-ramp and proceed straight over R71 towards R81. Turn right onto the R81 Munich Street towards the direction of Mall of the North. Honorable members and our guests, if you check your booklet, it also have the information if you didn't get what I've said. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and the city.
Honorable, thank you so much, Deputy Speaker, for the announcement. I take this opportunity to thank everybody who was in this sitting today. Thank all the viewers of 408, 404, those that were at SABC Congo, radio stations, Palapala FM, Ganalona FM, as well as Tubela FM, because managers of the media houses are here, and I didn't mention them. Jakarta FM, NHFM, Cape Town FM, we know that as the media houses, managers who have been in this city. They've been following us since in the morning, and we want to thank them. And those that are on social media, on the office of the Premier, social media on the office of the legislature. This house, we have been indeed a good audience. This house is adjourned until we meet honorable members on Tuesday, 10 o'clock at the Wahomu Legislative Chamber. Thank you. The sitting is adjourned.